Hello and welcome to Get Into Games on Air, a podcast about board games and the people who play them. I am testing my mic. I am Craig, as always, and joining me is the lady on my left. You don't know that, but she's definitely on my left. It's Rebecca.
I do actually always sit on your left.
Correct.
Always. Yeah, hi. I'm here.
And we are not alone today.
We're not.
No. We have brought in a guest. They have travelled thousands of miles, hundreds of miles just to be here.
Back and forth.
They were waiting in the cold for so long, but they were used to it. It was like summer for them. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Mr. Dale.
Hi, I'm testing my mic too.
Yay! We've all tested our mics. There is one mic. Hello. Yes, this is episode 30, something along the lines.
Oh my god, you didn't actually check, did you?
No.
Oh
Hold on.
my god.
Professional.
Live on the podcast.
Wow.
I think it's 34.
No, I think it was 34 last time.
All right, then it'd be 35, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Hold on.
I'm going to say 36.
Just gotta wait
the
for
cogs are turning.
just gotta wait for Spotify to load up.
Hurry up.
Spotify.
Do your ad reel now while you're waiting for it to come up.
Have you ever wanted to play a board game but didn't want to buy a board game because you've got not enough space on your board game? It's episode 34. I am a professional.
Oh.
I am a professional. There was no belief in this building, but I'm going to take a sip of my tea like a champion.
I just would prefer it if you actually check these things before we started.
Preparation. No, I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
You can cut that out later, it's fine.
I'll edit that, yeah, of course.
He doesn't edit anything.
So, hello there. Would you like to introduce yourself? Where are you from? Not where are you from. We can hear by the sound of your voice you're from Kent. Where are you? Tell us where people can find you.
Well, they can find me and my amazing partner at Neurodicey
on
Instagram. Yeah. And personally, Mr. D Chips on Instagram as well.
Ooh.
With a pretty cool suit.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
It's pretty cool.
It's my profile picture.
I meant dox yourself. What's your address? No, actually, don't dox yourself because that doxes me.
Excellent.
Cool. And to get to know our guests a little bit better, we always ask some quick fire questions. So, Rebecca, as always, has been writing away in her best...
I've written some new ones.
Oh, my days.
Oh, I'm not prepared for this.
And she's used her best handwriting, too.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I've prepared more than you, so let's not talk about
Well,
that does not take much, I've seen.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm not the one being asked the questions.
Let's go.
Yeah, you are ready. First board game you ever played?
I'm going to probably say Mousetrap or...
Mousetrap is amazing.
Yeah, something like that, like Buckaroo.
Yeah.
That's the first memories I have anyway.
I do love Buckaroo.
Yeah, I love Buckaroo.
You can't.
Yeah, Buckaroo.
Can't
I'm Buckaroo.
The kids love Mousetrap.
They love Buckaroo, but they broke the horse.
I hate setting Mousetrap up.
It's
just such a
the
bore.
biggest pain.
Yeah.
Like when I worked in a board game cafe. Oh, no. Every day.
God.
Every day.
You play it for like less time than it takes to set up.
Yeah.
First board game you bought?
Oh, the first one I bought myself. That's actually pretty recent, and I think it was a version of Monopoly. I know, and I think it was the Nightmare Before Christmas Monopoly a few years ago.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's not just Monopoly. Don't worry.
Yeah. Still not my favourite type of Monopoly. My favourite Monopoly, and I will say it again, is the Jurassic Park Monopoly.
You don't even have that version.
But it's the best kind because you press the button, it makes a song, and then goes rah, and the T-Rex eats your houses.
We know what to buy you for Christmas now.
Jurassic Park Monopoly.
Everyone buy it.
Every copy of.
What player colour do you play as?
Yellow. Every time. If it's available, yellow.
So you can't play with driving games?
No.
They can't be in the same room.
No.
No.
I've heard that.
Theme you would always want to play? Like a theme board games?
A theme?
IP, you know.
Oh, I like most fantasy ones.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that's like D&D related, anything like that, I'm in. I'll play it.
We saw someone playing. Was it Dungeons and Dragons?
It was like a D&D tabletop game, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I've got one, it's great.
Most expensive purchase, board game related.
My car.
That too.
No, not general related.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I think the most expensive one has got to be Dead by Daylight, the board game, which was about £60 odd.
Nice. A game on your wish list.
Let's Go to Japan. I'm obsessed with that game. I played it a couple of times with a friend who had the whole Kickstarter with the lovely bowls and all this, and I fell in love, and now I need it. And then it got delayed.
But you need the Kickstarter version, right?
I'm very tempted with the Kickstarter version
because it's all wrapped up in.
Yeah, you've got like the nice cloth, you've got the nice mats, and it's beautiful.
We saw it when we were on holiday, weren't it? It was sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, but it wasn't the nice version.
No,
right?
it was just the version.
Yeah, and
still good.
I'll put it back on. 3 words to describe the board game community.
Oh God.
No.
That was two. That was two to describe me. That was just describing me. I don't know.
Oh no, it's not going well. I definitely say
it's not going. No, that was 4.
Yeah, that's too really bad.
Friendly, chaotic.
Yeah.
I would definitely say caring. Everyone seems to definitely pal together.
That's nice. Oh, here's a tricky one. First impression of Get Into Games.
What?
A bit strange, since he did corner me on the street saying, "You work in a board game cafe, or you have a twin that does," and that was very startling on the way to school.
I've seen you.
It felt that way. It was outside your house.
It was.
Oh, actually, no. The first impression was me stealing your booth and table.
Yes, yeah,
I
that's
forgot
true.
about
We,
Yeah.
You were chucking it out, and I stole it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the jukebox went with it.
It did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I stole your furniture first before actually talking to you.
Yeah, and then upsettingly, you didn't take the fish tank, but
You did try
yeah.
a couple of times.
A convention you would like to go to.
I want to properly go to UKGE because I only got there for the press event the night before, but I didn't actually get to experience the event. So next year I'm going.
Yes. You need to go for at least one day.
Yeah.
And it's a good one. Lots to do. Easiest game to teach.
Easiest game to teach would probably be Ouch just now because I had to teach that not that long ago.
Oh, what's that? I've not heard of that.
It's very simple pick up and play one where you pick up the card from either the sides or the bottom or the top. If you flip it over and there's cactus there where your finger is, you've lost. But if it's not got that, you get to keep the card.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And that's
is
the
it
teach.
A kids game or is it,
yeah. Well, it's mostly aimed for kids, but you can play it. I feel like after a few drinks, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Hardest game to teach.
Stardew Valley, the board game. The times that I had to teach that was very difficult.
It's really nice, but it's very much like the board game, the video game.
Oh yeah.
And I think the thing that I wasn't sure about was why they made it a board game.
There's a few like that with video games.
Because the video game is so good and satisfying. You don't really need a board game to do it. You could just, I don't know. Best player count.
I'd say between 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm. Best game to play with kids.
Best one to play with kids, I would say Project L.
Oh, I love Project L.
We play that with my 8-year-old a lot.
Okay, controversial. This next question could be board games or video games.
Oh, now see, that's difficult. It depends on the mood. I find with video games, it's really easy just to pick up and play. Just boot it up, it's done, unless it's a big update, of course.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting more of a social one, then board games.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I suppose it does depend if you game solo. I would say, even for me, I think if it was on my own and I was like I had to choose between playing a board game and a video game, I'd be like, well, I can fire the computer up and just play on my own.
Yeah, I don't want to set up a board game for myself.
No, I struggle with solo.
It's sad playing with yourself.
Except that you do like Next Station London.
Yes.
By yourself.
Yeah.
Twitch or Instagram?
I find with Instagram there's a lot more engagement with it. Like with Twitch, it's up and you get immediate feedback. It's great, but not everyone can join in at the time. So with Instagram, it's up literally forever.
Can people, I don't know Twitch very well, but can people watch back Twitch?
You can have it for up to, like, I think the maximum is like 2 weeks or 30 days. The video will be up.
Yeah. So it doesn't stay there forever.
No, unless you download it and then upload it to, say, like YouTube, it's gone.
Okay. Instagrammer that you would most like to meet? No pressure.
Oh, no, there's so many. Definitely not get into games.
No, I wouldn't.
No, there's genuinely like so many. And I met a few at UKGE.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to spend more time with the ones that I've met. 'Cause again, it was only like a couple of hours and it was so busy. So I think, next year I want to meet more.
Cool. A game you would like for Christmas?
Let's go to Japan straight away. Don't have to worry about that one.
A hidden gem you own that you don't think many other people know about?
I'd say probably, again, I've mentioned it before, Dead by Daylight, the board game. I love that game, but it seems to be difficult to get, and not a lot of people have it.
Okay. And the furthest you've been to play a board game?
Well, I'd probably say Scotland, because I've been up there playing board games, so I'd probably say that.
Is he Scottish?
Why did you visit there?
I've heard it's nice.
Okay.
I'd only been there once.
Sunshine?
No. Very windy.
There we go. I asked all my questions. You did quite well there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. B-.
Woohoo!
Right, I can now go to sleep.
Yeah.
Nothing like being put on the spot.
The panic.
I'll take the chain off the door now. He can leave.
The long journey home.
I felt really on edge when you asked me questions the other week. I was like,
It's
I don't know what to
panicking.
say. What if I don't say the right thing?
It's because my
forget
questions were
everything.
pointed and mean.
They were.
Yeah, I'm quite glad you didn't make them.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
With Needle and some thread.
no, we're not singing that song.
Okay, that's sad.
You usually do the.
I do.
What we're talking about.
So-
you just, sitting back, letting
Chilling.
it happen.
Oh,
Oh, shall I start running it? I'll start doing the ads next.
Running the show.
I might even do the start-up crawl.
Start up crawl. Is that like? Is that a swimming technique?
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
This is a
What's it
podcast
called?
about board
What's it
games.
called?
The introduction.
The introduction, that's it.
Start.
Yeah.
Let's do the start up crawl. It's the Star Wars.
I was thinking Star Wars.
the
yeah, I
opening
was
crawl.
thinking
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Excellent. So, Dale, now we've got to know you a little bit better. I think we can always get to know you more better, innit?
More better.
Yeah. So, what made you what made you really get more into the hobby and made you make your Neurodicey Instagram account? What made you really get more focused into the board game online?
Well, I've always enjoyed board games, but it's past couple of years I just started to play a little bit more, and then I saw more from, because I'm a big video game player, saw more converted from video games to board games, started playing them, loving them, and then it just snowballed from there, where I started working at a board game cafe, and then was surrounded by hundreds of board games, then met get into games, and he kind of forced me to. It was great.
And he's still got the arm behind the back.
That's good.
Yeah.
We can take the second lock off the door now.
No, but like genuinely, because like we kind of talked a little bit, but then it was your birthday last year where you're like, oh, play Blood in the Clocktower, because I played it a couple of times in person. You're like, oh, come and play it with us. And then I met more people with that, snowballed.
Yeah.
And then me and Midge started making an account. It was great.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. It's really good. Like, thing is, it's like one of the everyone can do it, and they probably should, because everyone's playing games and they have their opinions and things, and it's just really good to be able to have a kind of safe space in the community, because there's not that many. I mean, you do get obviously a few bad eggs in times, but it's such a welcoming community that it's really easy just to create that sort of stuff. But what was it like transitioning from more video game based content, because that is where you were twitching a lot more originally with video game content, but then moving over to making board game content?
It was definitely different.
Yeah.
Because with a video game, it's genuinely depending on the game, because obviously there's solo games, it's generally quite fast paced, so you're constantly talking about it, whereas putting up a review for a board game, very different to say like playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like where you're constantly like, oh, I've shot him, getting killed, to all right, I'm going to place my meeple here. It's very different. And obviously playing with Midge as well, it kind of gave us more time as well. So it was quite nice to, instead of playing video games together, we're now playing more board games. I like it.
Yeah. Do you find it hard to review games, like, because you're almost like judging them whether you like them or not? Like, I find that side of it quite tricky because I never want to say that a game is bad because somebody has had that idea, taken it from like an idea in their head to a fully formed game, and I think it's not really my place to say whether it's great for other people. Like, you can give your opinion, but I'm always a bit in conflict with myself about.
Yeah, I definitely felt that way before. I felt quite mean, like, if I put up a review and it has, like, something negative, but I'm like, no, but it's my actual opinion. I need to remember that. Midge has even said to me, like, no. Like, if you didn't enjoy this, they want to know for the feedback. Yeah, exactly. Instead of just they don't want glowing reviews all the time because that's not accurate to what they want.
No, they want it to be honest. And, and I think people looking at reviews, if you say it's amazing all of the time, then they're just going to say, oh, well, I'm not going to look at that because it's meaningless, really.
And if they go and buy the game, they play it and they're like, it's
this
nothing
was rubbish.
It's nothing like you reviewed. Then as like someone who puts up reviews, you have no reputation whatsoever. I'm just ignoring that one because they only just say it's great.
Yeah, it's difficult though because it's a very fine line because there is obviously all games will suit somebody, so you can't necessarily always be like totally positive. Totally, it's a fine balance. It's like, for example, it's like Seven Wonders Duel. Mm-hmm. Like, to know that there are so many people wrong about that game, and like, which is fine. But it's
I thought you were going to be so humble then. I thought you were going to be like, absolutely no, hold on a minute. I'm wrong. This maybe I just misunderstood this game. You were like, no, everybody else is wrong.
Like, technically, there are like it's so high on BGG rated. It's loved by so many. Like, it's amazing to know that there are so many people who are just wrong about a board game. But that's what the great thing is. There's a game for everybody out there.
So I'm hearing you love Seven Wonders Duel.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan. Almost as good as Doctor. Let's not go there.
How did you find... So you used to work in a board game cafe. How did you find recommending games to people? Is that an easy thing to do? Like, to suggest a game that you think other people are going to like? Or is that quite hard?
So at the start, I found it quite difficult, but then I kind of got into a rhythm of asking them, like, okay, how many people are playing? How long have you got? What games have you played before? So I knew the mechanics. Yeah. And then I'd always have from certain categories, like a couple of games that I think would be good, recommend a few of them. And if they didn't like any of them, I'd be like, well, let's try again. That's a problem.
How do you find that game?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You do have to just... Asking questions is always the most important thing in any walk of life, sales or anything. You ask more questions, you want them to speak more than you, and it is finding out what they like to play, how what they have played, and themes that they like, and then you can kind of tailor that down. And if you've got a bank of enough knowledge of enough games, you can kind of tailor the right one to the right person. If someone's never played any games before, or you can, modern classics. Okay, stick with modern classics. You love Monopoly. Okay, you love terrible games. Here's Catan. So there's so many like different ways that you can kind of incorporate the newer side of the hobby in with the modern classics, as well as trying to like.
So here's going down the board game confession line. Have you ever completely like mismatched, either of you, completely mismatched a game with a group of people?
Oh yeah, loads of times.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like,
what's the worst one?
I think one night it was like a Saturday night. These people came in and they were like, "We love board games. Really like complex board games. There's a few of us, but we just want to have it more chilled." So I was like, "Okay, let's bring out a party game." They don't want anything complex. They want it really quick. I was like, "Here you go. Have," I think it was like Muffin Time or something, which I love. And 10 minutes later, they were like, "Yeah, we're picking a different game. We didn't like that one." I'm like, "Oh no, oh no."
They used the wrong words to describe what they wanted.
It definitely happens. It's like you'll get people who come in and you talk to them, and they will say things like what sort of games they want, and then you do give them what they want, and then they end up
don't actually want that.
No.
Yeah.
I want to play Lost Ruins of Arnak. Okay, right, we'll set it all up.
Yeah.
No, I don't really want to play that.
I've had that where you set up a big game. Like I've set up Wormspan. They're like, we've been dying to play this for months. Like ever since we heard about it, we want to play it. And I'm like, perfect. Let's set up. I'll teach them. Spent maybe half an hour teaching them, like getting it all into it. And then again, 5 minutes later, I can just look over and they're packing it away. I'm like,
oh no.
no.
Well, that's a waste of their time, right? In a board game cafe, like.
Yeah, I mean, they're still paying for it, but still.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've had time with I've had times where I've like recommended things like cockroach poker and things like that, and then come around the corner, back around the corner, and see that they're playing Dobble. Like, oh, okay.
No.
Someone once just didn't understand Cascadia, and they seemed to be like, I'd asked them all the questions, and all the questions came back being, I know how to play these kind of games, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it just makes mistakes, but that just happens sometimes. And you do feel a bit guilty because I've recommended this and you've just spent 45 minutes struggling through and not being able to do it, but you wanted it. But yeah, sometimes it's more user error than it's not my fault.
We kind of
my fault.
We kind of veered off the subject of getting into the hobby. So you set up your Instagram account, and then what? How do you? So for anybody who's out there, who's new, who's thinking about setting up an Instagram account potentially, or any kind of account linked to board games, what do you do then?
Well, for us, like we kind of saw what other people were posting. Like I think the very first one we put up was me setting up the office, just random content like that, just anything you can put up. If you're playing a game, take a quick picture saying, "Oh, we're playing this today. It's one of our favorites. We recommend it." Like literally start small like that, and then once you've got a bit more of a grounding, we joined in with like some of the community hashtags like Mystery Monday and like Thematic Thursday, and they're great to get yourself out there and kind of involved with the community because everyone supports you with that.
Yeah. And it gives you a focus for that particular day.
Yeah, like you kind of have that content kind of ready, or at least in your mind, like, okay, here's the theme for this week. I can put it up.
So do you we know people like myself, who like to schedule all their posts and they have weeks and weeks of scheduled posts, or are you more kind of, we're doing it today, we're just going to take a picture today and just more go with the flow kind of?
Well, if you look at the Instagram, it's very sporadic. I don't think I've ever scheduled content for Instagram before because we've got kids, like we've got a job. It's very difficult to sit down and play a game because quite often I'm so tired, or the kids are hanging off me, and I'm like, if I do get a chance to play games, I'm like, instant take a picture. I'm like, I'm just putting it up. It's fine. Yeah.
Listen, we have days where we're like, all the best intentions, right, we're going to play this game today. In fact, there's a game that's set up in the table that we were going to play. We were definitely going to play it.
It's been in there a month.
And we haven't played it.
2 months.
We were like, well, let's set it up in there and we will definitely play it tonight. It's Brass Birmingham. But we haven't played it since.
No, it's a nice quick game. It's fun.
No. But there's definitely times where you just think, actually, I'm not in the mood for board games.
I fall into one of those camps of scheduling or just random last minute. I bet no one can guess which one it is. Please leave it in the comments below if you think you know.
You can. Greg literally comes in the kitchen going, but I'm just making a drink, and then he's going, and I've made a post, and I'm like, what, in 2 seconds? He's like, yeah, actually.
Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah, why not?
Or I took we were sharing a beer last night. It was like some zombie death beer, and I thought, quickly, I'm just going to put it in front of Hitsy Road.
That's the way to do it. Sometimes inspiration just hits, and you're like, "Oh, this would make a great post." Just put it down. Done. See you.
I've saved that photo. We won't use. I haven't scheduled it, but I've sent it to you. I think so. Yeah, you can use it. But yeah. So, video games, board games. Tell us about the video game side of stuff, because that's an area that we don't know a lot about. How does that work with Twitch streaming and all of that business?
So obviously with video game streaming, it's very popular. Everyone's kind of doing it. So it is a lot more difficult to be noticed with that. And it is literally on Twitch where I'm just playing games that I enjoy. For some people, they literally stick to one game and that's all they do on their channel, and they're very good at that game, or obviously sometimes not good at that game. And it's their personality that comes out then. Whereas me, I'm like, I want to play this game. I'm going to play this game. And it's more, again, it's not something I do for any kind of profit. I literally just do it because I'm like, I enjoy chaos. I love showing that off to people, and it's a really funny moment. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Literally started in lockdown, and I've loved it, and I've met good people.
How many people watch, at a time?
It really fluctuates. It literally depends on the day, what time you're doing, what game you're playing. Back at my highest, I was up at 15, 18 people watching just every day, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Whereas now, since I haven't streamed that much because of obviously working, kids and stuff like that, it's about four or five like every stream.
Yeah.
Which is obviously tricky. And sometimes your motivation does go when like obviously you're up at that big number and then you've got like one person watching for like a few hours. You're like, oh, okay, it's not going as well. People aren't finding me funny, so it's difficult with that.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Because it's your creative outlet, I guess. You're putting yourself out there for other people, and then well, it's the same with Instagram, isn't it? You hope that somebody's going to like your post or buy a game off the back of.
I think the other thing with it as well, like I only know from like doing Instagram lives and stuff like that, but it's quite like you can be doing a live and you're having a bit of fun with it. You're having well of the time playing a game, doing whatever. But the fact that you can see out the corner of your eye the number of people that are watching you, and you can see one, and it's or none, and it's sort of like, well,
do you get to the point where you're like,
now I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
Have you ever got to the point where you're like, oh, I'm just going to switch it off? Or...
I did that for work. I did a live at work once, and I just switched it off.
I've switched off a lot of lives because I'm like, I've been streaming for hours. I think the content's really good, but then you see that one or that zero, it really puts you down, and you then struggle to pick yourself back up. Yeah. Like on Twitch, thankfully, there's that really handy function where you can turn off your viewer count, so you have no idea. Like Midge has done that before as well. Like it's a really good thing if you're a small streamer.
Yeah.
Turn off that view count because then you don't know, you don't care until afterwards. You're still at your best.
Yeah.
I do recommend it.
I also think it's quite good when you do get a few people, like the interaction. Like we've watched a couple of your videos and like having that interaction back and forth in the chat function and stuff. It makes it more exciting, I guess, to interact with people
definitely.
And see what they're saying, and And
you can kind of bounce off of them with like they're asking you questions. You've kind of got, all right, I can speak about this, or they're asking like, oh, what's your plans for the day? So you can just. It's not you just randomly saying it to yourself. You are responding to someone.
Although I saw that Midge had used some of her Twitch footage on Instagram the other day. Like there was something funny that had happened and she used it then on Instagram. So that's quite cool when you can use it across both platforms, I guess. Yeah,
there's like little funny clips you can get, and you kind of just, I've got a button on my computer where I just press clip it. And it'll take the last like 30 seconds of your stream. So if something funny happens, just quickly press it, and then you can download it and put it up everywhere, like TikTok, Instagram, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you ever thought about Twitch streaming board games?
I have done. I've done it before. Quite a while ago in like TCGs. I've done a few. Like we've done Dead by Daylight, the board game, and we've done like obviously Magic the Gathering and all that. Just kind of live streaming that. But we do want to do it again on Instagram.
Do you need more of a setup, I guess?
Yeah, more like you need proper lighting. You need all that. It very easy to do, and when we start doing it, it is going to be very basic, but it'll work.
You can always use Board Game Arena as well.
Yeah, we have been tempted to do that as well.
Yeah, because I think people are actually interested in seeing, how the board game works before they get to play it. Yeah, I think that is something.
Sometimes the best way to watch it because there's like a lot of how to plays, but watching playthroughs is quite nice.
People actually playing it, and seeing how it, turns out in the end, kind of thing. Cool, that's cool. Have you got any more questions?
I have. This podcast is sponsored.
Have you already done that? No. I'm getting the deathly stare
being interrupted again. This podcast is sponsored by Sneak Energy. Please, Dale, take it away.
Oh!
Well, if you use code Mr. D Chips, that won't help you.
Oh, it's no longer sponsored by Sneak Energy. Goodbye. Ignore them. Buy yourself a monster.
I am. No. Oh no!
Treat yourself to a Relentless or a Monster. Or a Red Bull that gives you the wings, but not a Prime.
No. Oh no, who wants Prime?
Yuck.
No. Oh, there goes that sponsorship.
Well, actually,
oh no,
I need some of that KSR money.
So what's next for Neurodicey?
Oh, literally just the same chaos. The same. We want to be able to post more.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of our big thing. We do have new logos coming though,
Ooh.
which is very exciting, and I cannot wait for that.
You got people to do them?
Yes.
Oh wow,
The,
that's cool.
the amazing Midge.
Ah.
Midge is currently doing that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So that's coming.
So you do art then? I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Used to sell art and everything.
Oh wow.
I know. But
That's cool.
recently got into digital art. So like she started doing emotes for my Twitch, and she's doing logos for Neurodicey and everything. So it's very exciting.
That's very exciting.
I had a sneak peek the other day. It's very exciting.
Well, I
It's
need a
very
sneak.
cool.
Why haven't I had a sneak?
You got a
peek?
sneak peek.
Yeah.
I need a sneak peek. Oh, there's.
Remember, I walked outside and I said, "I ever know you, or you got someone in a board game cafe."
Oh, that's it.
And you were like, "Oh, sneak peek."
That was it. It's all coming back to me.
That is like there are people out there wanting logos and things. That is actually quite a lucrative market. If you can get
I know quite a few people that do it as well, and I'm like, I just watch them. I'm like, this is just witchcraft and wizardry. How are you doing this?
Yeah. So are there going to be new T-shirts? Or...
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I've already got it
mugs,
all ready.
because games would be like mugs.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
So they
Yeah.
probably want a Neurodicey mug if you.
Oh, I mean, I'm a big collector of mugs, so I'll also be buying. Anyone who's got the mugs, let me know. I'll be buying them
There's
all.
quite a few. I think Board Game Review UK's got mugs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Board Game Family UK
Yeah.
has got mugs.
Everyone's got mugs. We
Games
don't have
with
mugs.
Beanies got
Why
mugs.
don't you have mugs?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
We haven't got mugs yet.
We got nice.
Coming soon.
Should I Google a mug?
Christmas presents. I'll just write that down.
Mugs.
Mugs.
Okay, coming soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I suppose what would your advice be for a non-gamer
Ooh.
who wants to get into games, or a video game streamer, a video gamer that wants to get into board games? Where would you start them off?
I would definitely start them off at more party games, the ones that are kind of fast-paced, chaotic, because that's what they're used to with video games, and then introduce the board games that have come from video games.
So like Stardew Valley and
But ones that are less complicated.
yeah,
Because
that's really hard to teach.
Because a lot of the board games that have come from video games are quite complicated. Like they are, because obviously in the video games there's lots of mechanics that they kind of have to shove into a board game.
Yeah.
But if you show them like, hey, this board game exists, we'll play this. Here, have something to get yourself into it first and get used to some of the mechanics.
Or do you think they'd like something like Dark Tower because it's got that app
app driven? Yeah,
yeah, definitely. And like the escape room games as well could be quite good for them. That some of them are app driven as well.
Yeah,
but like they're quite good to get people into it because it's something completely different.
Yeah.
Or things like wargaming kind of things, and then like Hogs of War, and then you can get into like Warhammer and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you just recently got Hogs of War.
I did. It's just there.
It is behind me.
Big beefy box.
Have you played Dominion, by the way?
No.
Ah.
There's a lot of like very popular board games I just haven't played. Not because I don't want to, just because I haven't.
I thought because you'd played Magic the Gathering, maybe you would have played like that kind of card game.
No, I did see it in the charity shop like a couple of months ago, like 2 versions of it. And I was really tempted to get them, and I didn't. And I wish I had. That's my story.
So do you still play Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, very occasionally. Me and Midge will pick up a couple of games of it, but I've mostly moved to Lorcana now. So I really like Lorcana.
It's very good.
We got the
Gateway box.
Gateway, which is very nice.
And two of the starter decks.
We can't get into Lorcana because you got into Star Wars Unlimited, and that's just a rabbit hole we can't get out of now.
I love rabbits.
We weren't going to go. We weren't going to get involved in the latest
of the Republic. Yeah.
Set. We were like, no, we're not doing a third set.
And we haven't
finished the first 2.
We just don't look over there. We haven't.
and then you got sent them.
Right now.
And then you got, your showcase card, and now we're still in the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Hooked.
We're deep in. I got a showcase card there.
It's very pretty. I saw that on the live.
Pretty.
You can see it in real life.
No. Yeah. I don't think I'm allowed.
No touchy.
Yeah, no touch. See, I kept on saying I'm not going to get into another TCG because I know so many, and then like Lorcana came out and I was like, no, not going to do it. And I managed to avoid it, and then all of a sudden I ended up like with 2 starter decks. I'm like, how have I done this? I bought them.
That's how they get you in. That's how they get you.
I blinked and I had them in my hands. I'm like, oh no. And now I have like a lot of starter decks, some boosters, and I'm like, this is a problem.
Yeah, they're so pretty though, those cards.
Yeah.
I prefer the gameplay in Unlimited.
Yeah.
Just there feels like there's
a bit more strategy, I think. But I don't know. Yeah,
but,
they're both.
You know, being a massive Disney fan, you can't really like hate the cards because
the cards are so
beautiful.
pretty. The new set looks so good, and I'm very excited.
So would you say you prefer TCGs over board games, or would you say that's or you used to and it's changing a bit more, or would you?
I was definitely more into TCGs beforehand, just because that's what everyone was playing, and I kind of got sucked in with it. But now I'd say more of my friends are playing board games now.
Yeah.
So I end up again playing more of that, but I still like both. Just like I'm happy to play both.
TCGs take up far less space than board games.
Well, they don't when you've got that many extra cards kicking about.
Yeah, but they still take up less space than
The problem is, though, the smell. Anyway, moving on to the next part of the...
What kind of segue was that?
That is qualified. Oh my god.
So, the next segment of our delightful podcast is our, speaking of smells, dinner smells. Let's move on to our board game menu.
Wow, okay. Goodness me. We have no idea. So many in-jokes nobody's going to get.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. Hello.
Hi.
Every time we do a podcast with a guest, through their own will or not, we ask them to come up with a board game menu. A selection of games from starter, main, and pudding.
Why did you say pudding like that? Why didn't you say dessert?
I don't know. It's late. It's dark outside. It's scary.
Is it?
Dale, do you have a board game menu for us?
I have thought of one, yes.
Nice.
In the brief 5 seconds you've given me.
Excellent. That Remy and the old chef
you've had
I've had
37 minutes.
I've had 37 minutes. and I've thought about it for the last 5 seconds. There's not a lot of space in my brain, so like I need the processing. I'm like, okay.
It's like, right, I've got over the questions. Now they're asking me more questions.
Oh, God,
now
no.
I can think about it.
I thought that was it with the quick fire, but then there was more. But yes, I do have a menu.
Oh, I am excited. Here we go.
Okay, so if we're coming over to your house, what are we going to do?
Terrible idea. To start with, I would definitely say Project L is a nice starter one. Just get it in, absolutely fine. Afterwards, I'm going to go Quacks of Quindlingburg.
Nice.
Because that has to be my favourite game just now, and I absolutely love it, and everyone has to play it.
Yes.
And then for dessert is a bit more tricky one. I would definitely say maybe a party game like The Mind.
Oh, I love The Mind.
So it's a nice one that you don't have to talk to anyone after. Kind of
We're not talking anymore.
Yeah,
We're done talking. Get out of my house.
Especially if you're messing with people in certain games. I find that Mind's a nice one because I'm just going to get glared at no matter what if I mess with people. So it's fine.
Yeah. How far have you got in The Mind?
I think the most we've got is level 6 or 8. I can't remember which one. Midges will tell me.
We once got to level 10.
Yeah,
it's so difficult.
Have you done The Mind Extreme?
I have played it, and it does add another level.
We're not so good at that one.
No,
it's the blind rounds. It's like everything has to be played face down. What is even this?
I think you have to play that game with the same people quite a few times before you get to know, like, oh right, okay, they've got that card. They're gonna just sit there like that, or they're gonna lay that down really quickly. But you do have to get to know people's minds.
Yes,
but
yes, you really, really do. Dale, do you have any questions for us?
Oh.
Good, I'm glad that's all the time we've got. And,
so many of today has just been getting put on the spot.
Yeah. Okay, that's the name of I didn't give a podcast an episode. Welcome to episode 34, Put on the Spot.
That is, I thought it was testing the mic.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh.
Testing the mic on the spot.
Should really test the mic before we start recording.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. You've asked me about my opinion with new people. What about you guys? What's your advice for new people just starting? So I know you've done this for quite a while now.
So we were talking about this in the car, funnily enough, yesterday, weren't we? Because I've got a group of like school friends, not school friends. I don't go to school with them. They're at where I work.
Work colleagues.
That's it. Oh my gosh, it's too late to think of actual work.
Oh, and I'm the one who's getting in trouble for going a bit gaga.
And I really want to get them into games, but
you have to pay me royalties.
They did come around and play. Oh, we haven't. No, we can't finish. We haven't talked about Clocktower yet.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm writing that down so we don't forget.
Apparently, I'm the one who doesn't do the planning.
I've written stuff down.
There is a lot more over here than here in front, your side.
I've got a cup of tea.
So anyway, I would really like to get them into games so that they could come over and we can play games. I did introduce them to Clocktower, but there were 6 of us, and it kind of ended quite quickly. I felt like some wanted to play again, and others maybe were just like,
drunk.
What just happened?
Yes, that's fine.
We started like with Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, and they all loved it and then went out and bought it. But I'm struggling to find like that level of game to keep their interest, kind of thing. So we've played Sound Ridiculous, which went down quite well. But I feel like people want to have a bit of a drink before they play that game, before they make silly noises with the mouth. Yeah, well, I think that we played. Have you played Ghost Blitz?
I love Ghost Blitz.
Oh, so we played it for the first time yesterday and absolutely loved it. So I bought 2 copies, one for us and one for school.
Oh, good.
So that the kids can play it, because I actually think it's brilliant. So I feel like that's where I'm going next with them. So I think that having a few drinks would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And then maybe like something like you said about Ouch. That would be quite good.
Ouch is really good. And it's a nice little game where you can just put it in your bag.
Yeah. Those kind of things where you can take them to the pub or to someone's house without going, hey. So the first time I said I was going to bring board games, one of them said, there's not enough room at the pub for Monopoly. And I was like, no, I'm not bringing Monopoly. I'm not bringing Monopoly. You know, I don't want to take a whole bag of games and be like, hey, I'm the boring person that bought the board games. Like, I just want to take little card games to get them interested, and then so that they want to come around.
Those pack of fun games are quite cool as well. The little chewing gum packs.
What about you? How would you get people into games?
Well, I started this Instagram account. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No, you never mention it.
I when I started getting into games, I actually started it being called Getting Into Games, and then put a massive typo on my Instagram account and just called it Get Into Games, and that went down really well. Anyway,
Get Into Games is way better than getting into games.
Yeah, I know, there's too many guzz. Anyway, I did that to try and get. So essentially, the whole thing was not to be part of the community and not make this stupid account of lots of people and friends and stuff. Anyway, I made this account to try and get my friends that we know into the hobby, so when we see them, we can play games with them. Turns out, I just made new friends.
Yes,
that was
that is exactly what happened. We just found
got better friends.
Yeah, so I up-leveled. I didn't worry about getting more people into games because there are already people into games that are far better than. No, that's not the point. No,
that is.
I think to get new people into the hobby, I think you do have to start from like things that they are familiar with, games that they've got familiar with. So if they're into Cluedos, you introduce Mysteriums and Paranormal Detectives and that kind of thing. Chronologique. If they're into Monopoly, you go Catan. I didn't say Catan. Ugh. But yeah, you do go, unfortunately, into Catan and then Kingdom Builder. And then there's like your Ticket to Ride. You go in with simple mechanics, and then slowly but surely people will fall in love with it. Pandemic, because if people are, oh yeah, but it's boring and it's always so competitive. Okay, well let's do something cooperative. So Pandemic comes out, and then you have your co-op sort of stuff. If they're themed, then I think that's how you have to work around the people. But
what I think is quite funny is that I was the one that got you into games.
Your parents played
and now you're saying to everybody get into games, but it's quite funny.
Yeah, but
you didn't used to play board games as a child.
No, we had some, but family weren't
tossing
like
them over the table when you got cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Table flipping.
Flip.
Table
I feel like
flipping.
you have to.
You have to. That's the rule. I didn't flip.
I don't think I've ever flipped a board.
No, I've never flipped a board game.
I think you have.
I wanted to. If it was Doctor, then yeah.
I think you flipped Monopoly once. I'm pretty sure you did.
I get bored by
Because
Monopoly. I'd flip
I used to
Monopoly
say-
now.
Every time I used to say, let's play Monopoly, he was like,
Yeah.
no, we're not.
That's probably the accurate noise, but that's the accurate
But then
noise
I
make.
found games that you did like, and then you got into games, and then now we have all these.
And then you said you liked Seven Wonders Duel, and it all went backwards again.
We got rid of Seven Wonders Duel because
Thank
I appreciated
gosh.
that you didn't like it.
But
But we still have Monopoly.
You can get me the Lord of the Rings one. We'll try that one.
Yeah, I'll get you that one.
But we still have Monopoly. Yeah, absolutely. 2 copies of that.
We have a lot of Monopolies at home.
Oh,
we have about 10 copies of Monopoly, different versions, just because we don't know why. We
Do
don't
you
play
have
them.
the Northamptonshire version?
No.
Because I reckon there is one.
There's probably a Scotland.
So-
Do you have a Kent?
version?
Do you have a Kent version?
I actually did have an Aberdeen version of Monopoly, but it
Oh.
got destroyed.
Oh, dear.
There's flooding. It's a whole thing.
What versions do you have?
Oh gosh, I've got, because it's coming up to Christmas, Elf. I've got
Yes.
another Christmas one, I think. Nightmare Before Christmas, Animal Crossing.
Oh, Animal Crossing must be
It's
so cute.
It's got a really cute little figurines and everything in it. Oh gosh, what else have I got? I've got so many.
Do you actually play them?
No,
No.
I've played them before, but it's
Yeah.
mostly like we started to have quite a lot, and now it's just slowly building. If we see another one, I'm like, all right, I need that one.
Yeah.
Like there's a Home Bargains one I want.
Do they do different things? Like, is there...
Some of them do. Like obviously, there's some gimmicky ones. Like the Animal Crossing one's got a few little gimmicks, but most of it's just like different playing pieces, essentially.
Because the Lord of the Rings one was the first one where I was like, oh, they had introduced the one ring that went round, and then once it had got all the way round, that's the end of the game. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah, I like
Because
that.
you don't just keep going round.
So we started doing it, didn't we? We just put like a 20p coin or
Yeah, but
whatever
the
on the
normal
thing,
one,
and
yeah.
just let it go around. And oh, there is a game that I need to talk about. I forgot. Have you ever played Atmosphere?
Oh
You know,
my god,
I
this
picked
is so weird.
I picked up a great copy in the charity shop.
Did you?
Yeah, and in another charity shop there was another version
Oh,
of it.
Kufu one.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
Kufu.
wow, yeah, that's a really good one. We played that one before too.
It's really good.
That was really cool. Yeah.
There were some the previous people hadn't actually tidied up properly.
Right. Okay.
And there was some fear still inside of
Oh my
it.
gosh.
Like I can't think it was spiders or something.
Yeah.
It was good.
Heights.
And
Heights. I think Heights was one. Yeah, we heard.
And then there would have been a really long, maybe I don't know if people would have done that, but like a really long-winded, strange kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like there was. Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard that you knew that.
Sheep on
Yeah.
a farm
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere.
It's a weird-
Probably penguin. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird that would happen. But yeah, Atmosphere's a great game.
So, for anybody who hasn't worked it out,
Um,
Dale has our copies of Atmosphere.
that we gave to a charity shop.
And then Midge and I saw because I'd never played Atmosphere before, and Midge was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this game! It's so great!"
Oh,
and I was like, "Yeah, okay, we'll get it." And it turns out after a couple of years now, it was yours. And it was really weird how that twigged, and we were like,
Yeah.
wait a minute,
yeah.
how have we done this?"
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And there's like one key that's where they had miscoloured a key, so it's like.
And that's how we
it's
figured it out,
kind of
wasn't it?
wonky. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's so
madness.
strange.
But yeah,
The world is so small.
small world that we live in. Yes.
So not only does he have the booth and the jukebox, now he has
As
the
our
copies of
Atmosphere.
Yeah,
Anything else you'd like while you're here?
Well, you did let me cat sit for the week,
Yeah.
so you haven't noticed yet. It's great. So we'll keep it that way. Sorry.
Weird. Weird how the cat hasn't moved in months.
Who's now staring at me like, "Oh no, he's back."
Yeah.
So we did the end of the podcast, but now we need to go back because we haven't talked about Clock Tower.
Okay.
So you play a lot of in-person Clock Tower, right?
Yeah,
Or did play a lot.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely love in-person Clock Tower. It's so much fun.
Are you still playing a lot of it, or you're not so much now?
Not so much because my car's broken.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Otherwise, possibly.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Well, I played it for like one of the first times. So we usually play it when we have conventions or
Yeah,
meetups
meetups,
with the board game people. But I went to the dice box to play the Halloween version, and everybody had dressed up as characters, and it was hilarious. Like I love that game so much, but in person is the best way to play it.
Oh,
I
it
think.
is. It's so chaotic. I love it.
And because people forget what they say and they get tripped up, whereas when you play it online, I know that there are people backstage, not backstage, but
behind the screens.
Behind the screens, writing.
Yeah.
This will be the episode where Becky just says nonsense.
Yeah, this is where Becky can't.
But writing down what people said, and that's not really the essence of the game. Like the point is that people are meant to trip themselves up and say silly things,
and that's how you get caught out quite a lot of the times. Like the amount of times that I've cause I've got a mute button on my mic, I'll mute it because I'm trying not to laugh because they're saying all this when I'm the demon, and they're going, no, it's definitely that person, and they're not mentioning it. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine, and I'm trying not to laugh so much.
Yeah.
But in person, if I did that. Be like, well, it's you.
Yeah.
It's quite clearly you.
So what happened in our game? So I was the virgin. I had managed to convince
You convinced the Scarlet woman.
The Scarlet Woman had become the demon, and then
well, no, it was the other. You managed to get the Scarlet Woman to nominate you. Nothing happened, and then the demon killed themselves. So the Scarlet Woman became the demon, and then they had nominated me, but didn't die. So I went over to them straight away and said, well, you must be evil or something's awry because I'm the virgin. And they were on the block then, and the game ended. But so what's your favourite Clock Tower character to play?
Definitely one of the... I love being evil. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hate being evil. It's so stressful. I love it. I love the chaos and messing with people so much.
Any particular demon?
Vigor Mortis, I think. It's a great one. And I think favourite minion has to be Spy, just because you can use it so much and you know where everything is, know exactly who is, so I know how to mess with them. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And it's always good because you get that extra little bluff and the storyteller can kind of help you or hinder you kind of thing. So
I love it. Well, with you, it's always hinder.
Yeah. Although I guess in person playing as the Spy, that's a lot of information to remember, right?
The first ever time I played Blood in the Clock Tower, I was the Spy. Oh. And I forgot it after the first night, and I just went, I'm this role. It was a role that was already there. And so I somehow, don't know how, it didn't die, and got the other person to die, and then everyone else was like, oh, well, we've got the minion. And I just went, that's fine.
Yeah, you did.
Absolutely fine, because a lot of it, was completely new people playing, so they didn't get the nuance of, oh, you need to kill the other person as well just to be safe. But Spy, I love Spy. I just love being evil.
And you've done some interesting things that I want to try out. So you've done the Two Town
has to be one of my favourite Blood in the Clock Tower ones ever.
So explain, because not everybody will know. Explain how that works.
So we had about 30 people playing, 15 roughly in one town, 15 in the other. But there were some custom roles where you got to banish people to the other town or kill one of the demons, because there was 2 demons. One of the demons got to kill someone in any town. So for quite a while, because I was storytelling one of them. One of the towns that I was in, no one was dying whatsoever. Everyone was alive. People kept on coming over, still not dying, because the demon that I started with just stayed there and just kept on pointing randomly to the other town. They didn't care who they got, as long as it wasn't the other demon, just always kill them. And then the demon on their side was always killing them.
That sounds so cool.
It was amazing, and it was so chaotic with legit people who are so calm normally, they're very soft-spoken, screaming, going, it's you said this. And it was so much fun. And every night, closing the eyes, and then me and the other storyteller was going through, because obviously 15 people anyway for a town is quite a lot. Doing
so was
all
it 15 in each town?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Doing that, going around to everyone, and then looking at them going, right, what are we doing? Who's switching over? Who's been banished to the other town? What abilities do I need to know? All while being quiet. Yeah. Because you were in, there's not a big space. So you had to do just hand gestures of pointing, yep, thumbs up, all good. And it changed so much.
So do you prefer playing Clock Tower or storytelling?
It depends. Again, it depends on the mood I'm in. I generally prefer storytelling because I like to see it unfold, and I like choosing the characters that I think will work and seeing how... Because beforehand, I like to think, okay, this is how it's going to work. And seeing how it unfolds, it could be completely different to what I thought. And I'm like, this is amazing, or, ooh, that hasn't worked too well.
Yeah. It's quite... I always want to give it a go, and then I get really, nervous, anxious, because I think... There's 10 other people who are looking for a good time, and I'm like, if I mess this up, I've really ruined their evening.
See, for me, I think, like, you're here to play Building Clock Tower. I'm going to give you that.
Yeah.
And if it's a quick game, we'll just re-rack. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But I'm so used to talking in front of people, of, like, organising that kind of stuff from, D&D,
Yeah.
stuff I've done in the
We
past.
didn't
I'm
even
just
talk
used to it.
about D&D.
Yeah.
You'll have to come on for another podcast and talk about D&D.
Gosh.
My gosh. Well, we can get you back and you can come with Mitch and we can both be on.
I can drag Mitch
That'd be
over.
cool. Yeah, so I think we've learnt lots about you. So where can people find you? Remind them where they can find you on the socials.
Yeah, Neurodicey on all the socials for board game content. But if you want video game content, it's Mr. D Chips.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah,
So thanks for having
me.
me.
Very much for being on the
He's got
podcast.
ever such a long journey back to us.
He has all the way to Scotland, apparently.
Yeah, can I put in my mileage for you guys to reimburse me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it must have been.
We can't fix the car.
Must have been hard life
yeah.
pushing that.
I was really hoping about that. All right.
Cool. Well, thank you all so much for listening to episode 34. They didn't believe that I knew, but I did know. Thank you so much for listening. And please leave one of those glorious 5-star reviews or lovely comments in the review section, whether you're listening on the Apple podcast machines or the Spotify podcast machines. Follow us on Get Into Games and Mrs._Get Into Games. In all the places with all the socials, and remember to use code GITG50 to get 50% off your first month of Rent, Shuffle and Roll, and buy yourself a Monster Energy drink.
No!
Thank you.
Damn it, man.
Thank you all so much, and remember to get into
Get a mug.
Dale.
Get a mug. Oh, no.
Wait,
Oh,
No.
wait.
Get a new mug was better.
Yes.
Get a new
Get
mug.
Midge to do your logos.
Yeah.
Commission some logos.
Midge will do a logo. It's £500 a logo. Starting price
That sounds like the going rate.
Yeah.
The car will be fixed very quickly.
for an hour.
Maybe.
Maybe. Thank you all so much for listening, and as always, get into
Get into
She
games.
normally says it at the same time. She didn't say it that time. She
I
said,
didn't know whether you were actually going to say it.
"Oh, did you say it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can...
Remember to?
You just said it though.
Get into games.
Oh.
Wow, who's got such a voice? Wow. Night night.